Hi everyone, Don Peterson coming to you from XGolf up here in Alpharetta, Georgia. We're outside of Halcyon here. It's in the Halcyon area, and this is a simulator golf lounger bar, I guess you could call it. And I've got a nice bar with food and drinks in the middle here, several different bays up and down and all around, and just a really cool facility. There's a small group hitting some balls and playing golf over here. Another guy's working on this side over here, and I'm down on the end here giving you a couple of free golf tips. And so here's what we're going to do. I've got a system of training that I use. I've been doing it for years. It's called Miyagi For Golf, and I'm going to give you a few examples of how it works. And so here's a couple of beach balls that I have, and this is part of a package that comes to you if you decide to take my course. We'll have the golfer's tee box probably sometime after the first of the year. I'm hoping to have something available by Christmas, but I don't think it's going to happen. So probably by springtime in 2025, I'll have the golfer's tee box ready. But it's basically a toolkit that I'll send to you in the mail. And those of you who are beginners, it'll be a nice little system for you to use in your own home to train online with my course called Miyagi For Golf. Those of you who want to change your swing, if you've struggled with golf over the years, you want to make a change, I think Miyagi For Golf is the best way for you to change your swing, because you have a muscle firing pattern in your brain that you've developed over the years that causes most of the bad swings. It actually causes the good swings, but the good swings and the bad swings are just you're relying on timing and just your athletic ability. Because if you have a bad technique, you can get away with it with good talent. All right, so some of your shots will turn out good, but then you always have the bad shots that ruin your round. All right, so anyway, beach balls, and you can see one's small, one's a little bit larger. If you don't have beach balls, something similar to this that you can hold in your arms like this is real simple. I like to see the smaller ball in your wrists, and I want you to kind of get your wrists close together like this, and then pinch the other ball in between your elbows and maybe up against your chest. And what we're going to do is we're just going to practice making backswings with this motion. I'll turn it around so you can see the golfer's tee box there. But anyway, you can see here I'm set up, and I'm holding the balls and with my arms kind of extended away from me. And this is a really good little training drill and something for you to learn how to get what used to be called a one-piece takeaway. And the one-piece takeaway, people used to, back when in my days, the one-piece takeaway is take the club away, just your shoulders like this, and try to resist with your lower body. In other words, there was no movement in the lower body until you got back here and you were winding up. And I never thought that was the right way to teach it, and I never swung that way myself. So I think most of you need to use your lower body. So along the way, what I did was I coined the term every piece takeaway, because I don't think you should just move one piece. I really think you should get your lower body moving and your core moving at the same time. So, you've heard a lot about core training, and that's kind of what we're talking about. It's kind of like if I wanted to move a club away with just one muscle. Well, here's an example I give all the time. I grew up in Illinois, so we had snow in the winter, obviously, and a car would go into a ditch, let's say. And if it was just you and a buddy and you get out and try to push the car out of the ditch, it'd be hard because you'd be back there heaving and hoeing trying to push this car out of the ditch, and just the two or three of you couldn't do it. It would take a lot of work. But if you're went into the ditch near the school, and you could go over there and grab 15 or 20 of your buddies and say, hey, come help me push my car out of the ditch, you could do that. Because everybody would walk over there and you just walk it out. It'd be really easy. So look at that as how you want to start your golf swing. Do you want to start your golf swing just with 2 people trying to push the car back? Or do you want 15 or 20 people trying to push the car back? And that's the way I look at it. It's like I want my whole body, every muscle in my body, trying to move that club away. And I want the same thing to happen when I try to move the club through. That way I'm working really efficiently. So rather than do a one-piece takeaway, learn to do an every-piece takeaway. And we're going to use these 2 balls to do that, okay? So here's the structure, and what I'm going to do is you can kind of see when I rock my shoulders, I'm also kind of turning my waist, and you can see my lead knee, my left knee is starting to move towards my right thigh, or my trail thigh. So if you're, I'll go over that real quick. For those of you left and right-handed golfers out there, lead and trail is how we talk to golfers if you're an instructor. So lead is towards the target, obviously. So my lead side is towards the target. So as a right-handed golfer, that's my left side, so that's lead. Trail would be my right side. If you're left-handed, your lead is your right side, trail is your left side. All right, so getting back to the drill, I'm gonna wind up against my trail side, and my lead side is kind of rotating, my core is moving maybe an inch or two. If you look at me from this view here, I'm gonna stick my seat out and flex my knees slightly. Don't wanna be too flexed, I'm gonna be standing in just a bit slightly flexed position because that's the strongest position I can be in. And then I'm gonna move to the trail knee and trail foot. I don't want the weight to go on the outside. I want to stay on the inside of the foot. And I'm going to start creating a little bit of a transition of weight transfer, and also turn or coil with my shoulders and my arms, okay? So I'm going to turn into my trail side. Now, once you get this feeling of starting with everything together, every piece takeaway, then I want you to start turning a little bit more with your back. So turn a little bit deeper. Now you're going to feel your trail side kind of stop, and that's what you want. I've got another drill I call tug of war drill, and then basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to feel your trail side load up and stop. So there is a stopping point to every backswing. You don't want it to just keep going forever. And what happens in a good golf swing is there's a sequence to it. So I'm going to wind up, and I'm going to feel like my trail leg and my trail hip, they just hit this point where I can't really turn any further as long as I keep my trail knee flexed, and as long as I keep the pressure on the inside of my trail foot, it just stops. And that's what I'm looking for. I want it to stop. And what happens is it actually stops when I'm only about right here in my golf swing, okay? So my lower body is stopped, but my upper body is going to keep going because it can go further. The lower body can't because it's just locked in there, and that's what you want, okay? So now I'm going to keep going with my upper body until I reach a point where I really can't turn any further there unless I break down the lower body somehow. So watch, the lower body stops, and if I stop right here, my back can't really turn any further than that unless I would let my hip and my leg go. So you can kind of see that here. If I wind up and keep my trail knee flexed, everything stops about right there. Unless I do that, then I can go back further, but I don't want to. I want to feel, like I said, I want to feel things stop in my backswing. So on the backswing, you're going to reach, turn your back, try to keep your arms extended. You're pinching these balls. That's the good thing. You're pinching together, keeping those muscles and the structure all good. And then you're going to wind up, turn your back as far as you can, and there's your full backswing. Now most people would look at that and say, well, Don, that's not a very big backswing. But when you put the club in your hands and you just add momentum, it turns into a little bit bigger swing, and you'll see that. But the feeling is that I'm winding up and I'm getting my backswing with what we call a lot of torque, okay? So I want to wind my body up so that then it wants to spin and unwind, all right? Now, I'm going to pick up a golf club here. I'm going to walk through a turn-through motion that I use for a lot of people. And I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll bring this bag over here. I'm going to set the bag right in here so you can kind of see. I want you to maybe stand next to a couch. So here, let's pretend like this is a couch, and there's an arm of the couch. The couch is going that direction. And you're going to stand next to it. And I want you to kind of turn and bring your trail knee up like you're going to bump the couch or bump the arm of the couch, okay? And you can hold a club in your hands like this and just kind of practice bumping the couch like that, all right? So that gets you off of your trail side, and you're going to feel like you're coming up on your tiptoe. That's exactly what we want. And then the other thing you're going to do is you're going to feel like your stomach and your chest is facing forward, but then when you come up and touch the couch with your trail knee, you're going to feel like you're facing 90 degrees to your left or your right, depending on left or right-handed golfer. You're going to be facing the target. So I'm going to come up with my trail knee and face straight away at the target. And that's what we want. So if I do that now with a club in my hand, you can see what happens is I can come right around on my tiptoe, and my left leg or my lead leg is going to straighten up. You can kind of see the lead leg is kind of tall and straight, and that's what we want. Your knees are going to come close together. And I'm going to give you another little concept drill, And let's pretend like you have cymbals on the inside of your knees. And I want you to feel like you crash one cymbal into the other. So it's going to be your trail cymbal into your lead cymbal. Okay, so same motion, but now we're going to do it a little bit more briskly with a little speed. You can kind of see if I do it correctly. And one of the things that I'll point out to you, and this, if you go through the Miyagi For Golf training course that I have online, much more detailed, and make sure you do everything correctly. Here I'm not going to be quite as detailed because I want to get through this and present some nice material to you. But a lot of players, what they do is they kind of spin, and this is an old squash the bug problem with baseball, right? You'll squash the bug when you hit a baseball. A lot of people don't get off of their trail side, and there's a lot of weight left on the trail foot. So I want to make sure you get off of that and come up and balance on your lead foot, okay? Now, most players, if you can get to the feeling of just slamming the cymbals as you come through there and you start doing it quickly, you can see the inside now is moving fairly quick through the ball. And that's going to bring my torso and my chest and my arms and shoulders with it because my hips, everything's connected, right? So if I have a nice structured backswing like we just learned with the 2-ball drill where we stretch and we get really wound up, now when I slam the cymbals, I'm bringing all of that power through the golf ball with a whip-like action, and that's how you get a lot of club head speed. All right, so that's another nice little drill. Just went through real quickly. You can kind of learn to help you get your backswing and your through swing working. Then I've got, I'm going to show you this really quickly. So the 2-ball drill where we use the beach balls, that was something that kind of makes you pinch your elbows and arms together. I've got these rubber bands that I send out, and what we do is we put these above the elbows. So I put one on, I hold it with my thumb, I put the other elbow through the center of the rubber band, and now I've got it above my elbows. And what that does is you can see the rubber band holds my arms together. Now this is a crutch. The other drill is actually better for building the musculature and that pinching feeling. It's better because it's making you actually activate those muscles. And then what's happening here with the rubber band is I don't have to, it's holding me together. But I like rubber band because now you can actually hit golf balls and feel this same structure that we're talking about where your elbows stay together, and it kind of makes you feel like you have to turn your back to make a movement rather than just lift your arms. Makes it feel like, oh, this is all connected and it needs to be moved in one, movement, not 2 or 3 movements where your arms are lifting and your shoulders are turning separately. So try to get the whole thing to work together like this. And then if you have soft wrists, you can kind of see where my wrists are going to start hinging. And width is a good thing. And that's the other thing the 2-ball drill does a really good job of, is teaching width in the golf swing. So you can create more distance in your golf swing 2 ways, 2 main ways. One would be by creating a longer swing, right? The further I go back, the more distance I can probably achieve because I have longer to speed that club up. And then the other way is by a wider swing. So obviously, if I'm swinging back and my arms are right here, this isn't a very wide swing compared to if I had my hands and arms way out here. Now, a good example of a wide swing and a long swing would be Davis Love. He had a lot of width when he went back, but he also went back a long ways, and he had a long swing as well. So that's a very powerful swing for not a very big man. So that's what you can do by creating more width. So the 2-ball drill kind of helps you create that width. And that width, like I said, it's kind of an extension or a feeling of being wide. Now, I can be wide and tight with my hands and not really have a very powerful swing. And that's because I haven't let the club hinge. So once you get wide, you want to feel the club is hinging out there. It doesn't hinge in here close to you. See, this is close to me, but this is my left elbow hinging, isn't it? It's my lead elbow, right? So instead of hinging out here with my wrists, a lot of people hinge right here with their elbow. And that's where you feel like you're getting your power, but you're actually losing power because you're losing width, and then you probably don't have the great wrist hinge that you could learn to have if you have a wider swing and learn to let your wrists hinge out here and then let that create some speed coming into the golf ball. All right, so let's see, what else can we go through tonight and just give you a couple quick tips. Just want to kind of give you an idea of, like I said, the Miyagi For Golf training system that's coming out, and my training kit, the Golfer's Tee Box, will be coming out as well. So I'm launching Miyagi For Golf fairly quickly. I'm sending out some coupons for some people locally here, but you'll be able to find it at miyagiforgolf.learnworlds.com. And I'll have that. Any of you who want to find out about it, go to Golfer or go to swingfactory.com. Swingfactory.com is my that's my main website. And some of the other products and some of the other concepts. I wrote a book called Baseball Golf. I've got the baseball golf system as well, online course for baseball golf that will be finished up shortly. Then I've got a putting course. I call it peripheral putting. And that's an interesting concept. I was a very good putter when I was younger, and there's some concepts that I came up with that I think are pretty unique and probably help you with your putting. And I've got a Start Golf Now book. It was a book, but now it's an online course. It's actually going to be free. Once I get set up, you'll be able to get a free copy of that. It comes free with Miyagi For Golf because a lot of you are beginners who go through the Miyagi For Golf system. I want you to know how to get started in golf. So the Start Golf Now is kind of part of that program, because then you're going to learn how to swing in the comfort of your own home, and then you're going to want to take that to the golf course. And then Start Golf Now kind of helps you with everything you need to know to go to a golf course and not be embarrassed, okay? Because that seems to be a problem with a lot of beginners. They feel a little uncomfortable about going to play golf, and sometimes the uncomfort is caused by not knowing what they should be doing, and sometimes that does cause embarrassing situations. I'll give you a quick example. I gave lessons to a woman for about a month and a half, and she told me in the beginning, she goes, look, my husband scheduled a vacation time, and he normally plays golf, and I don't play because I don't play golf. She goes, but I want to surprise him this year, and when he goes out to play, I want to be able to play and have some fun with him while we're on vacation. I said, that's great. I'll teach you, everything you need to know to go out and play. So taught her the driver, taught her irons, taught her pitching, chipping, putting, and she was actually doing quite well. I think she would have handled herself quite well on the course. So she went away on her vacation. She came back, and I said, so how did it go? And she goes, oh my gosh, Don, I was so embarrassed. I said, oh no, what happened? And I was kind of shocked because she was okay at playing golf. Well, she said that she went up in the pro shop and she got paid for a round of golf and went down to surprise her husband, and they gave her a token for driving range balls. And I guess she went down, before she talked to her husband, she went over to get her range balls, and she put the token in without putting a bucket underneath of the machine, and all the balls started coming out onto the concrete. So that was a very embarrassing moment for her, because everybody on the driving range turned around and was wondering why these balls were bouncing all over the concrete. So certain things can happen on a golf course or around a golf course that can be embarrassing. I realize that, so we're going to try to stop all that. So I wrote this book a long time ago that kind of helps. And also inside the book is Beginners 10 Rules, or 10 Rules for Beginners. And the reason why I wrote that is because there's rules of golf. And everybody wants to try to play by the rules of golf, but as a beginner, you can't really keep score yet. It's really, the game can be pretty difficult for beginners because you're not going to finish some holes. You'll start the hole, but then you'll hit a ball in the water, or hit a ball and you'll just play another ball somewhere along the line and try to complete the round of golf in the least amount of time that you can, because like I said, beginners going on the golf course is kind of difficult. So I wanted to have a way for beginners to understand what they should do so that they don't hold up play and they don't embarrass themselves. So there's 10 rules for beginning golfers. I think is a pretty cool thing. There's stuff in there about, one of the things is, ask advice. According to the rules of golf, if you ask advice to someone, that's against the rules. So you can't ask someone, hey, how far is it to the pin? Or should I hit a 7-iron here or an 8-iron? You can't ask that because it's against the rules. Well, in the 10 beginners rules, you can. In fact, you should. And instead of beginners going out and playing with other beginners, because I see that a lot, as a beginner, you're kind of intimidated. It's like, I don't want to play with good players. So instead, you invite your beginner buddies to go out and play golf. And unfortunately, when you get 2 beginners or 3 beginners going out together, no one knows what to do. And now you're in a worse situation than if you invited an experienced golfer to come with you to kind of point things out and help you get around that first round of golf. So make sure you bring lots of balls. That was one of the rules. Make sure that you have you play with some experienced golfers. make sure you only take one practice swing, things like that. So check all that out if you want. If you're a beginner, you want to check that out. That's at the same place. If you go to miyagiforgolf.learnworlds.com, that beginning golf, start golf now is available there as well. I see a group is coming in here, so I'm going to try to log off here and get busy with them. So those of you who haven't been up to Halcyon, this is a really cool area. It's up off of, where are we at? Exit, I guess we're up around exit 14, I believe it is, off of 400. Am I right about that? Let's see, 13, 12. Anyway, it's between 12 and 13, I think. So just look up Halcyon and get off at the exit there, and it's just on the right side if you're coming north, and on the left side if you're coming south. But anyway, it's called XGolf, and it's a really cool venue for golfers, and they've got, you can have corporate parties in here and functions like that. It's a really nice place. So come up and check it out. And I'll be doing some Get Miyagi For Golf, and that's where I do tips for golfers who need some help with their game, and it'll be like quick fixes. I'll put them through a couple of my Miyagi For Golf drills and show them how quick I can make a change in their swing and get them playing better golf. So look forward to seeing some of you up here for that. Check the website out for dates and times that I'll be here. Anyway, take care and come and see us.